You ever had one of those mornings where before your coffee's even finished brewing, you open your front door to find trouble standing there with a clipboard and a permanent scowl? That was me, standing in my socks, still half awake, when DRA Ellingsworth knocked like she was the sheriff and I was public enemy number one. "Mr. Mason Trouble," she says, giving my name that extra little twist. "We need to talk about your barn." She's squinting like the sun's an affront, and I'm the reason. It's 7 a.m. My barn, painted red, nothing fancy but my pride, tucked out back where the land dips, solar panels glinting in the morning light, chickens scratching, old tractor dozing inside. I built it with my own 2 hands, reclaimed wood, every board straight as I could manage. So I just ask, what about it? And step onto the porch, boots squeaking, feeling the cold boards under my feet. DRA, it doesn't answer right away, just stands in my driveway and glares at my barn like it's personally insulted her ancestors. Then she says it violates HOA code, flips that clipboard open like she's drawing a pistol, starts quoting some nonsense about structure modification requests and unsightly appearances. Unsightly, like I'd hauled in garbage, not a barn that could be in a magazine for folks who actually do things themselves. I tell her I checked with the county before I started, followed every rule, every code. It's legal, it's zoned right, it's my land. She just sniffs and says, "It doesn't meet our standards." "Well, it's outside your jurisdiction," I say. Her eyes go sharp. "Our jurisdiction covers the whole subdivision, including your lot." "Except it doesn't. I never signed the HOA covenant. My place is grandfathered in, last property before the old county road bends. DRA's been trying to rope me in since day one." "Not interested," I tell her, and go back inside. Should have been over right there. Yeah, that didn't happen. Next morning, I find a bright orange violation notice taped to my barn. Big, official, stamped with the HOA logo, but the wording's off. They're quoting some architectural compliance rule and giving me 10 days to tear my own barn down or get fined. I call the county inspector, Jerry, the same guy who signed off on my plans last spring. He laughs when I tell him, "You're in the clear, Mason," he says. "Barn's legal as can be. HOA's got nothing on you." "Want that in writing?" "Yes, Jerry, yes I do." 2 days later, I've got a notarized letter from the county posted right on the barn door, 5 copies, just to make sure no one misses it. Next morning, someone spray-painted "code violation" in big, ugly white letters across the side. I check my security camera, grainy footage, but it's DRA. Hoodie up, flashlight in one hand, spray can in the other. You can't make this stuff up. I copy the footage onto a flash drive and take it to the sheriff's office. The deputy watches it twice, just shakes his head. "Let me guess, you're HOA president?" I nod. "No one ever votes. She just kind of took over." He says they'll look into it. I leave with a copy of the report and just enough satisfaction to get me through the day. But DRA? She's just getting started. A couple days later, I find a certified letter slipped under my door. No postage, no return address, just a folded letterhead, same HOA logo, this time a cease and desist. They're accusing me of interfering with HOA operations and spreading defamatory information. Apparently, reporting vandalism to the sheriff counts as harassment in DRA's world. I actually laugh out loud. That barn's mine, the footage is mine, and DRA's got less right to paint it than I have to redecorate her living room. I call my cousin Colleen. She's a real estate attorney over in Charleston, and she owes me after I rebuilt her deck last summer. She reads the letter, snorts, says they're bluffing. "You're not under their jurisdiction," she tells me. "Reporting a crime isn't defamation, Mason." And this letter? There's no law firm, no bar number, no attorney signature. Looks like DRA typed it up herself. Colleen pokes around and finds something way more interesting. Turns out the HOA filed for a zoning variance last week, trying to annex my street into their coverage map retroactively. That explained a lot. I drive down to the county clerk's office, get a copy of the petition. 5 pages of legal mumbo-jumbo, but 2 things jump out. It claims unanimous support, and my address is listed, complete with a neat, cursive signature that definitely isn't mine. I write in block letters, always have. So I knock on a few doors. Mr. Kim, retired Navy with the flagpole, Mrs. Langston. Runs the animal shelter, Marcus and Tasha, just moved in. Turns out none of them signed either. Marcus holds up his petition, This is fraud. We moved here to get away from HOAs. Mrs. Langston just shrugs. I'd have considered it if they'd asked. By the end of the week, I've got 6 notarized statements, signatures forged, all of them. I file a formal challenge with the planning commission, send everything to the local news. Channel 9 rolls up Monday morning. The reporter, Ellie, sharp as a tack, asks, "You think the HOA forged these?" I say, "I know they did." I show her everything. The spray paint, the fake petition, the county's letter, even DRA's phony cease and desist. That night, it's all over the news. Homeowners accuse HOA of forgery and harassment. The story blows up. Sheriff opens an investigation. Planning Commission freezes DRA's petition. But she doesn't back down. Next morning, 2 HOA volunteers show up, clipboards, fake badges, snapping photos of my barn. I step out, phone recording, tell them they're trespassing. The woman tries to act tough, mirrored sunglasses, phone up. I say, "Unless you have a warrant, you're leaving." They retreat fast. Video goes to the sheriff. 48 hours later, HOA activities are suspended, pending investigation. Suddenly, neighbors who never talked are swapping stories. In driveways, Mrs. Helen, retired teacher, says DRA threatened to fine her over a rose trellis. Rob, the mechanic, got grief for parking his work truck in his own driveway. Turns out DRA's been poking everyone. Then, final straw. Subpoena. For DRA. Not me. The county charges her with forgery, vandalism, and filing false documents. They serve her at her house, 2 board members looking on. One quits on the spot. Planning Commission refers it to the state attorney. They find a storage unit full of altered petitions, forged signatures, even surveillance logs. Yeah, the HOA's been keeping tabs for years. Handwritten notes, timestamps, pictures. I see my own file, pages about when I mow the lawn, when my lights are on, even notes about my truck. That's when it hits me, this was never about a barn. DRA had been running a long con, targeting edge properties to expand control, inflate dues. Surveillance cameras hidden in birdhouses, funded with HOA money. 3 found on my street, 1 right across from my driveway. They freeze DRA's accounts. Over $27,000 siphoned off to fake community enhancement projects, shell companies, all traced to a P.O. box in her maiden name. Embezzlement, wire fraud, unlawful surveillance. She's facing real time now, federal court, no parole. But what matters most? That night, Rob hosts a bonfire. Tool library sign where the old HOA meeting shed stood. Folks bring crock pots and chairs. Helen's got her guitar out. Nobody's in charge. Nobody needs to be. Officer Griggs shows up off duty, thanks me for not folding when DRA turned up. The heat tells me they found a backup drive in DRA's attic, every forged document, even practice scans of handwriting. She rehearsed forgery, targeted folks who wouldn't notice. Weeks pass. Signs come down. The old HOA crest gets tossed. Cynthia Morgan from the Housing Board drops off the audit. Over half the missing money will be refunded from the bond. Rest depends on what assets the court recovers. Marcus and Tasha build a chicken coop. Ask if I'll help. Of course I will. They name their loudest hen DRA. She struts around like she owns the place, but the others don't put up with it anymore. Divide neighbors. Fear does. I keep it, frame it even. And nobody ever asks if my barn violates code again, because now, finally, everybody knows the answer, and they all helped write it. So, here's my question for you. When's the last time you stood up, even when it felt pointless? Ever tangled with an HOA or seen your own neighborhood turn on itself? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Tell me if you think justice was served, or if it's just another chapter in the same old story. And hey, if you want more wild tales from the edge of small-town America, hit that like, subscribe, and share your own story below. This one's for the folks who don't back down, even when trouble comes knocking at sunrise.